A'udhu billah minash shaitan rajim. We seek refuge in God from Satan the rejected. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Salamun alaikum, everybody. Peace be upon you. God willing, today we want to start the first session of a series of short sessions for the introduction to Quran, the Final Testament, and with a focus on the appendices that Dr. Rashad Khalifa, the Messenger of Covenant, prepared for us, and their place at the end of Quran. So this is the PDF that you can simply search on the internet, and you can find it very easily just by searching Quran, the Final Testament, authorized English version by Dr. Rashad Khalifa, PhD. And it is readily available on the net. So God willing, we will go to the appendices, and I will give a short, brief introduction on the appendices, and God willing, we will start with the first appendix. So the appendices that we have here are located at the end of basically the translation of Quran after Surah 114, which is the last surah or chapter in the Quran. And we have this section of appendices, and you see that we have Appendix 1, one of the great miracles, Appendix 2, God's Messenger of the Covenant, and so on and so forth until the end of Appendix 38. So, God willing, we will start with Appendix 1, one of the great miracles, 7435. The Quran is characterized by a unique phenomenon never found in any human authored book. Every element of the Quran is mathematically composed. The surahs, the verses, the words, the number of certain letters, the number of words from the same root, the number and variety of divine names, the unique spellings of certain words, the absence or deliberate alteration of certain letters within certain words, and many other elements of the Quran besides its content. There are two major facets of the Quran's mathematical system. One, the mathematical literary composition, and two, the mathematical structure involving the numbers of surahs and verses. Because of this comprehensive mathematical coding, the slightest distortion of the Quran's text or physical arrangement is immediately exposed. So, God willing, I will continue. Simple to understand, impossible to imitate. For the first time in history, we have a scripture with built-in proof of divine authorship, a superhuman mathematical composition. Any reader of this book can easily verify the Quran's mathematical miracle. The word God, Allah, is written in bold capital letters throughout the text. The cumulative frequency of occurrence of the word God is noted at the bottom of each page in the left-hand corner. The number in the right-hand corner is the cumulative total of the numbers of verses containing the word God. The last page of the text, page 372, shows that the total occurrence of the word God is 2,698, or 19 times 142. The total sum of verse numbers for all verses containing the word God is 118,123, also a multiple of 19. 19 times 6,217. 19 is the common denominator throughout the Quran's mathematical system. So, God willing, up to this point, I wanted to give a short explanation of what this means. So, if you go to the beginning of the Quran, in the first chapter, you see it is written the key, Al-Fatiha. It is the first chapter in the Quran. It's a very short chapter. And at the bottom of the page, you see that. So, first of all, you see that the word God is anywhere that you see it in the English text, it is made bold. And if you go to the Arabic text, if you are familiar with the Arabic text, if you're not familiar with the Arabic text, that's fine. But if you are familiar with the Arabic text, you can check every verse against the Arabic text of the Quran. Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad in Arabic, and that's the original language of Quran. And you can easily check the authenticity of the calculations against the Arabic text as well. So if you look at this text, you see that verse 1, we have the word God here, and also verse 2, we have the word God here, and that is the word Allah in Arabic. So you see that verse 1, we have Allah here, and again, we have Allah here in verse 2. So there are two counts of the word Allah or God in the first chapter, right? So if you look at the bottom of the page, you would see that on the left-hand side, left-hand corner, you will see that there's number 2. So there are two counts of the word God. And on the right-hand side, you see number 3. And what does this mean? It means that it is the cumulative sum of verse numbers where God occurs. So it has happened, or it has occurred in verse 1, and it has occurred in verse 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. That's what you're going to see at the right-hand side. So as we move forward, wherever you see the word God, for example, in this page, in chapter 2, the heifer, Al-Baqarah, you see that it has happened in verse 7 and verse 8. And so obviously it is 2 occurrence of that. So plus the 2 from before, it's going to be 4. And on the right-hand side, so we had 3 from the previous page, and we have 7 for this verse number and 8 for this verse number, which is 15, right? Plus 3, you see that it is 18. So you can make sure of the authenticity of the calculations yourself. And this is something that you have to do for yourself if you want to be absolutely sure about what we are saying. And again, these things that we are mentioning are physical facts. It's not my opinion or anybody else's opinion. This book is more than 1400 years old, and these are the things that have been in this book for quite a very long time. And that mathematical miracle that we're talking about, this mathematical miracle, shows the authenticity of this book, and the fact that this book is from God Almighty, the creator of the 7 universes. So, God willing, I will continue. So let's just recap on what happened here. If you check the word God in all of Quran, you will see that the number, the cumulative number of sum of the word God in all the verses of Quran is 2,698. So in all of the Quran, you see the word God repeated 2,698 times, and that is 19 times 142. And the verse numbers, as we have just discussed, if you just calculate and get a sum of the verse numbers of the places or the verses that the word God has occurred, you will see that it is 118,123, and you see that it's a multiple of 19 also. So these are two instances of number 19 repeating. And as it said here, 19 is the common denominator throughout the Quran's mathematical system, but we will get to it. What does it mean, 19, as we move forward through the Appendix 1? God willing, I will continue. This phenomenon alone suffices as incontrovertible proof that the Quran is God's message to the world. No human being or beings could have kept track of 2,698 occurrences of the word God and the numbers of verses where they occur. This is especially impossible in view of 1, the age of ignorance during which the Quran was revealed, and 2, the fact that the surahs and verses were widely separated in time and place of revelation. The chronological order of revelation was vastly different from the final format. So what does this mean? So if we go to this page, which is another appendix that God willing, we will delve deeper into it, but I just want to give you a very short introduction to this part, is that If you search on the internet, you will see that there are numerous websites that are stating the fact that Quran was has had a different revelation order than the order that we have today as the book that we call Quran. What does this mean? It means that the first chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad was not chapter 1. The first chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad was chapter 96. Interestingly enough, if you go to basically the Arabic Quran, and if you want to see where it is located, if you just pick up an Arabic Quran, either a website or a PDF or like a print of the Quran, you will see that they're all look alike. There's no difference between them. Why? Because the order is exactly the same. For example, you go to this page and you will see that Surah Al-Alaq is the 96th surah in the Quran. 96th surah in the Quran. And this 96th surah in the Quran was the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad. Okay? And this is absolutely well established among all scholars of Quran and all Islamic scholars, whether they were of Islamic heritage or not. They all agree upon this. So there is it's a fact. It's not my idea or your idea or somebody else's idea. So, but the point is that if you look at this, you will see that it is located as the 96th surah right now in the order that we have. So this one was in the chronological order, the first chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Surah Al-Alaq, the embryo, that was the surah or chapter that was first revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Or the second chapter, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, was not chapter 2. The second chapter, right now in the order that we have, is chapter 68. So first, chapter 96 was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, then chapter 68. So if you go to another part of the Quran, you will see that chapter 68, which is Surah Al-Qalam, the pen, was the second chapter which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. That is really interesting. As we move forward, you will have a mind-boggling system, and you have to ask this question from yourself: how is it possible that we have like a book which is more than 1400 years old, has had such a structure of appearance and revelation to Prophet Muhammad, and after the death of Prophet Muhammad, how he ordered the committee that were supposed to put the Quran in the present and the current and modern order that we have, how he ordered them to do that, and how all of this stayed the same and didn't change. Because if you go and check all the manuscripts of Quran, you will see that all of them, regardless of what manuscript it was, they all look alike. All of the verses, all of the chapters are exactly in the same location that we have the modern Qurans with the modern writing. If you are a little bit familiar with this, you can search it on your own and you will see it. And this is a fact. This is not my idea. This is not my opinion. This is something absolutely established. The third chapter was chapter 73. So in the modern version, chapter 73 right now was the third chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Chapter 74 was the fourth chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Chapter 1, that right now in this order that we have, is basically the first chapter that we have in this order, was the fifth in the order that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. So, and so on and so forth. And God willing, in another episode, I will delve deeper into it, and I will show you all the chapters, God willing, and we will take a look at all of them. But this was just a very simple introduction of Appendix 23. And what does it mean? That the chronological order of revelation was vastly different from the final format. This is This is a very, very interesting topic. However, the Quran's mathematical system is not limited to the word God. It is extremely vast, extremely intricate, and totally comprehensive. So let's look at the simple facts which are mentioned here. These are the beginning facts. These are the easy facts that you can simply check on your own without the need of computer. You can just pick up a book, or you can simply go to a website or look at the PDF and see and check these things for yourself. Like the Quran itself, the Quran's mathematical coding ranges from the very simple to the very complex. The simple facts are those observations that can be ascertained without using any tools. The complex facts require the assistance of a calculator or a computer. The following facts do not require any tools to be verified, but please remember they all refer to the original Arabic text. The first verse, 1 1, right? Chapter 1. So the left number is the number of the chapter, and the right number is the number of the verse that we are referring to. So the first verse is 1 1, right? Chapter 1, verse 1, known as Bismillah, right? Consists of 19 letters. So what does it mean? Easily we can go to the Arabic Quran, and you can easily start counting the letters that we have here, right? If you're familiar with the Arabic script. If you're not, there is a very beautiful video by Dr. Rashad Khalif that teaches you the basics of the Arabic of Quran, because if you want to, God willing, become a submitter to God alone, then you have to be able to read the first chapter in Arabic. So it is of utmost importance to start learning the script of the Arabic language as well. But if you are already familiar with it, you can simply check what I am about to tell you. So verse 1, chapter 1. Let's see how many letters it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So you see that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which has 4 words, 4 Arabic words, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. It has 19 Arabic letters. Okay, so 19, the common denominator. Okay, so we have had 3 things happening of 19, right? God, the word God, multiple of 19, 19 times 142 in the whole Quran. The verses where the word God occurs, 18,123, 19 times 6,217, and the number of the letters of the expression Bismillah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, 19 Arabic letters. That is fact number 1. Fact number 2, the Quran consists of 114 surahs, which is 19 times 6. Easy. If you're not familiar with the Quran, you can easily go to a website, and then you can just see how many chapters there are in the Quran. There are many websites that you can go to. If you simply search the word Quran on the net, there are many websites. One of the most famous ones is Quran.com, Quran.com, right? And if you just scroll down, you will see that there are 114 chapters. Go and check it for yourself, and you will see that there are 114 chapters. So this is not my idea. This is a fact. The Quran consists of 114 surahs, which is 19 times 6. Fact number 3, the total number of verses in the Quran is 6,346, or 19 times 334. This is also a fact. If you simply search it on the net, you will see that. But beware that there has been a tampering with the Quran exactly 19 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad, and there were some fabricators who were enemies of Prophet, added 2 false verses at the end of chapter 9, and these 2 false verses have been removed by the will of God, by the hand of Dr. Rashad Khalif, the messenger of the covenant. from the Quran that we have. So right now, after 1400 years, we have the purified Quran at hand. Again, this is a separate topic, and it needs its own videos, several parts, because there are so many mathematical reasonings to that. But God willing, we will prepare those videos as well. But until that time, this is just a short introduction to this, because if you simply search on the net, you will see that if you just search the total number of the words, the verses in the Quran, you will see that it's written 6,348. But if you look at this count here, it's 6,346. And this is minus 2, those two false verses that I just mentioned at the end of chapter 9. And that's a separate topic. But for now, this is fact number 3, 6,346, or 19 times 334. So this consists of 6,234 numbered verses and 112 unnumbered verses. What do we mean by this? If you simply look at the Quran, you will see that the first chapter is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, starts with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, and it has a number at the end of it, right? The next chapters, they don't have the number at the end of the beginning statement. You will see that we have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but there's no number at the end of it, right? The number starts from the next verse, and this continues till the end of Quran, with this difference that there. So if you go to if you go to the third chapter, you will see that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, no number, right? Fourth chapter, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, no number. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and then when we get to 9 doesn't have a Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and this has baffled students of Quran for quite a while. I would say for 14 centuries. They didn't know why Surah basically 9 or chapter 9 didn't have a Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning of it. Continuing forward, you will see that again, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but no number, and so on and so forth. So basically we have 114 chapters, right? Minus chapter 9, that would be 113 Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, correct? But then we should remember that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning of chapter 1 is numbered. So minus 1, that would be 112. So 114 chapters, minus 1, which is numbered, and also minus 1 again, because there is no chapter, there is no Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning of chapter 9. So minus 2, that would be basically 112 unnumbered verses, which are 112 unnumbered Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So Quran has 6,234 numbered verses and 112 unnumbered verses. But then the total would be 6,346, which is a multiple of 19, 19 times 334. And note that the number 6,346, if you add the numbers, which are the digits, which are making this number, the digits are what? 6, 3, 4, and 6. If you add them together, right, you will see that you have a sum of 19. So 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 4 it's 13, plus 6 it's 19. So up to this point, we have 3 facts here and 2 facts over here, right? So there are 5 facts. So let's continue, God willing. The Bismillah occurs 114 times despite its conspicuous absence from Surah 9 that I just showed you. So this is Surah 9. It's a conspicuous absence of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And it's not only here. If you go to the website Quran.com or any other website for that matter, you can check it for yourself. Just click on Surah 9, chapter 9. You see that there is no Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim here. If you click on the chapter before that, you will see that there is a Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim here. And if you click on the chapter after that, again, you see that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim here. But conspicuously, there's no Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim here. It's only the title of the surah, the chapter. It's really interesting. So the Bismillah occurs 114 times despite its conspicuous absence from Surah 9. It occurs twice in Surah 27. Okay, so the Bismillah occurs 114 times despite its conspicuous absence from Surah 9. It occurs twice in Surah 27 or chapter 27. Okay, now it's really interesting why this is the case. Okay, so we have 114 chapters. If you look at the Arabic Quran, you see that there are 114 chapters. One Bismillah Rahman Rahim is here, right? So it is numbered. And one of the Bismillah Rahman Rahim is missing from the Quran, right? Here. So basically, we are supposed to have 113 Bismillah Rahman Rahim, right? And that is not a multiple of 19. However, if you go to Surah Al-Naml, which is in Arabic Al-Naml, but in English it is the ant, you will see that there are two Bismillah Rahman Rahim in this surah. And it's really interesting. You don't see it anywhere else in the Quran that a surah or chapter has two Bismillah Rahman Rahim. One of them is at the beginning of the surah, right? One of them is in verse 30. This is really, really, really interesting, okay? You see that Bismillah Rahman Rahim is mentioned in verse 30. And this is really interesting. This is the part that there is a letter from Prophet Solomon to the Queen of Sheba, and it starts with Bismillah Rahman Rahim. So, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. So we have 114 chapters. One of the chapters, basically, which is chapter number 9, doesn't have a Bismillah Rahman Rahim, but chapter 27 of the same book has two Bismillah Rahman Rahim. One of them is at the beginning of the surah, and one of them is at verse 30. So what does this tell us? So it tells us that basically there is a what do we call it? A deliberate pattern here, right? And this is just the beginning of the story, because it's really getting interesting from this point onward. And you see that the same exact expression, which is only repeated in the beginning of the chapters, has appeared in this chapter twice and in verse 30. Now, what is significant about this point? If let's go back to the appendix, and that will also come up, and God willing, I will explain it to you. So, again, to recap, the Bismillah was absent from Surah 9, as I just explained, and in Surah 27, it occurs twice. So basically, the count of Bismillah in the Quran has come back to 114, which is 19 times 6, and 114, interestingly enough, is the number of the total surahs in the Quran, which is also a multiple of 19, 19 times 6. Now, why is this interesting? From the missing Bismillah of Surah 9 to the extra Bismillah of Surah 27, there are precisely 19 surahs. So let's look at it one more time. So this is Surah 9, right? And this is Surah 27, where the Bismillah has occurred twice, right? So let's go easily to the website Quran.com, and this is going to make it easy for us to count things, because that's going to be easier to count stuff here because they have numbers here, right? So let's count together. This is the place that the Bismillah is missing from the Quran. This is the place that the Bismillah has occurred twice. So let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Do you think up to this point this is a coincidence? You know, we exactly have 19 surahs from the missing Bismillah to the extra Bismillah. 19 surahs, right? So this is a deliberate pattern that I am talking about, okay? Now, it gets more interesting than this. it follows that the total number of the surah numbers from 9 to 27 is 342. What does it mean? It means that let's go 1, 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 until plus 26 and plus 27. The total is going to be 342. And that is 19 times 18. 19 times 18. Isn't this interesting? That again, the multiple of 19 is coming up. The number 19 is showing up, right? So we are only at fact number 6 plus 2 other facts that were mentioned before. So we have 8 facts altogether. So you see the deliberate pattern repeating, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. It continues. This total 342 also equals the number of words between the 2 Bismillahs of Surah 27. So what does it mean? It means that if you go to Surah 27, from the beginning here, from this part that we have this Bismillah Rahman Rahim, to the second Bismillah Rahman Rahim, which is in verse 30, there is exactly the distance between these two is 342 words. 342, 342. So 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 until plus 27 is 342. And the number of the words from the missing Bismillah, from the first Bismillah of Surah 27 to the second Bismillah that occurs in Surah 27 is exactly 342 words. 19 times 18. So the same pattern is repeating. So isn't this interesting, you know? So you have a missing Bismillah in one surah, and you have that missing Bismillah in another surah, and distance between those two surahs is 19 surahs. And if you add the number of the surahs up to the surah where there is 2 Bismillahs, it becomes 342, which is a multiple of 19. And the number of the words from the beginning of this surah, where the second Bismillah is happening, from this Bismillah to the second Bismillah in verse 30, it's 342 exactly. And that is a multiple of 19. So you see the deliberate pattern. How could Muhammad, you know, apart from him being the prophet, how could he create such an intricate mathematical system at the age of like the dark ages, basically, you know, where he was living in the middle of, you know, the desert, you know, and basically no computer, no way of, you know, keeping track of stuff, and the order of the things that he, you know, said that was revealed to him was different from the order that we have today. So these are so many variants and so many factors that are coming together that makes this a miracle and makes this a book beyond mankind. Nobody can say that this is a man-made book by these definitions that I'm giving you. And again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we continue, you will see so many examples of the pattern of 19 emerging that you will absolutely become sure that this is a book from the creator of the universe. So thank you so much for listening to me. God willing, in the next episode, I will continue with the rest of the items in this appendix, starting from item number 8, fact number 8. Thank you so much for listening to me, and God bless you.